Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look here once more at Ethereum. Hope you got in on that signal from yesterday. That was a pretty solid amount of profit for us here. We hit 45% on our ETH long there in 7 hours. SCI, that's my favorite one, 60%, and of course 32% from Bitcoin. So if you're curious about that, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below if you want to become a better trader, but just more importantly, kudos to our community there for that. And what we want to look at here, first of all, is ETH liquidation and of course the open interest. We talked about that yesterday, having some resistance coming up. We've since broken that resistance, but we got to make sure we close above that too. So we're going to talk about invalidation levels here today as well, just to make sure you understand what that looks like. But there's still a lot of liquidation here locally at 2,500. People are just opening crazy amount of shorts. I think it's a bad idea to try to short against this volume. Yes, the price could pull back and profits will be taken at some point, but some people seem to think that they're just going to short to 2,000 on ETH and just have some luck. And that's really all it boils down to. It's pure luck. Now, don't get wrong. Yesterday, the whole war thing, it was crazy. As soon as I open my signal, the price goes down. It's like, oh, come on, here we go again. There's some crazy stuff over in Iran. And then not a few minutes later, the price just goes up and destroys all those late shorts. So it's just not conducive to try to short against this right now because there's high volume to the upside. Speaking of volume, if you take a look at liquidation short delta, that has since shifted to long delta, basically telling us we have just as many longs, just slightly more longs than shorts in the market right now. Okay, now when this becomes overextended like it was, that's generally when you want to try to trade against it because there's too many people trying to short the bottom. Okay, that's kind of what happened yesterday. Mind you, fundamental catalyst totally occurred, but I still feel like we would have seen ETH continue higher if that fundamental catalyst didn't happen, just based on it being massively overextended. All that said, last 7 days here, we can see open interest, heaviest concentration at 25, 30. So that'd be our next potential area of resistance. So we're going to talk about that. The reason why that's logical, by the way, too, is there's so much accumulation at that level. Look at how long the price spent at that 25.40 mark. So just know that's kind of one of those areas to consider. We can see that here too, reflected on the charts with this open interest slash point of control on the charts. So look at the overall sentiment here. We can see that we're still below some moving averages, but we have tentatively broken above this descending trend. Now the daily time frame doesn't really care about that because we have a lot of confluence at this 25.40 mark. In other words, all three moving averages, SMAs, are hanging out right there at that level. They're about to kind of intersect at that range. That reinforces resistance there, but also works kind of like a magnet to pull the price towards it. So keep in mind, we could see a short squeeze occur at that level if and when we see high volume at that price point. We need to see this volume continue to maintain itself, which it has so far for 2 days straight. Today, we're on target for it to maintain above that moving average. Now, when we look here, we haven't fully broken above 50 in the RSI, which Bitcoin has already. So that's kind of a slight disadvantage to Ethereum from the macro perspective, haven't fully broken free, but a solid closure above 2,500 should put us back on track. Keep in mind, we do have a macro resistance at that $3,000 mark. That's from ages ago. That's more of a longer term thing, but just know 25.40 and 3,000 are the two heavy areas of resistance above the price. Furthermore, RSIs, everything's looking pretty strong here. Money flow index super high. There's nothing here telling us you should consider shorting. Specifically, RSI not even being close to 70, and we have a tremendous amount of volume, and we've punched already through our local descending trend. Now, we look at the SMAs on the 4-hour time frame, we can understand that we're tentatively hitting the 50-day SMA. This is common little rejection zone for us, but if you look at this here, we've already broken free from our pennant type of pattern. It's easier to identify in smaller time frames. Bitcoin has the same exact pattern right now, so further upside makes more sense. I would say we're probably likely to see some slowing pressure in the 2,500 range, and we break through that, 3,000 is the next target. That's kind of what we're looking at there. Once more, we'll reevaluate as per usual and just continue to maintain proper risk tolerance throughout this process. So thanks again to my community for being just awesome, patient members of my community. But more importantly, just it's cool to be able to have some people to bounce some ideas off of, and everyone's been kind of coming together to help, and it's really, really cool. So if you want that for yourself, Discord is in the link down below. That's where we do majority of our conversations, but I do also have social media here with Twitter, Telegram as well. Those work quite nicely for my signals, my playout charts, and everything there too. So it's all available for you. Last but not least, check out Bitunix too, folks. These guys are phenomenal. We have a new campaign starting tomorrow, and I just think that they've been excellent to us. So make sure you check them out. Link down below. We have new promotions monthly, and there's no KYC or VPN. They've been an excellent exchange for us for over 2 years now. All right, have yourself a good rest of the day. We'll see you the next one. Take care out there.